Good evening and welcome to NEWSBREAK Live. I'm Hiba Samad. Thanks for joining us. Assemblyman Al Muratsuchi proposed a bill today that will improve the quality of education across the state of California. Assemblyman Al Muratsuchi held a press conference over the phone and announced Assembly Bill 2808, which will increase the local control funding formula for California by $35 billion. This increase would meet the national average and ensure that all school districts have full and fair funding to cover increasing fixed costs and provide a better education to California public school students. Muratsuchi says California budget for school has been below average. He says regardless of where students live, they should have the best teachers, small classroom sizes, and offer the basic needs. Muratsuchi is proposing funding targets to get California from 43rd to the national average by per pupil spending. This means a 60% overall increase for 2018 to 2019. Representatives from various schools and associations spoke out to support Muratsuchi's proposal. Many school representatives say the bill will close the achievement gap among students and help with upgrading schools. The budget funding for the proposal will come from budget bills that will be deliberated in the coming years. The bill is up for vote tomorrow in the Assembly Education Committee. Torrance Unified School District and the Torrance Police Department are taking steps to continue to make sure campuses right here in the Torrance Unified School District stay the safest. This letter was sent out to Torrance families and community members, highlighting measures and resources they use to make sure each campus is safe and secure. In the letter, it said that in the wake of recent school tragedies across the country, the district and police department met recently to review current practices and procedures to make sure they respond appropriately to any situation that may arise. Officials say that as a result of the meetings, they have identified a number of campus safety strategies to implement immediately and other measures that will require additional collaborative efforts, research, and links to funding opportunities. The district and TPD have jointly completed school safety assessments at all schools. They will complete active shooter training presentation for educators and key staff to address emergency response procedures. Also, the program called Safety Awareness for Educators will be offered to enhance the ability of educators and law enforcement to work together during times of crisis on campus. The letter also states that what families and community members can do. To see the full letter, head to the police department's Facebook page. A new type of theft is being reported across Southern California. It's called slider thefts. It's when a thief slides up out of sight to a woman's car at a gas station and steals her purse. These thieves find victims at a gas station pump and drive up on the opposite side of their car. They tend to bend down and hide from the victim who is busy pumping gas. They slide up to her car, open the door, and take valuables. Police say there are basic precautions you can take to prevent this, which include closing and locking doors, windows when pumping. Take your purse or wallet with you or at least hide it. Another tip is not to get distracted by cell phones. Here in Torrance, police officials say they have no reports of this type of crime. If you're looking for fun educational activities for your children, there is one right around the corner. You can sign up for Stories in Art at the Torrance Art Museum, which takes place on April 26th and May 10th. The free museum visit is filled with storytelling and art workshops for children ages 6 through 11. It's also a family affair as all children must be accompanied by a guardian. The Torrance Art Museum is the premier visual art space to view contemporary art in the South Bay. The event is free and open to the public.
I think it's really great for younger individuals, especially children, to be involved in art in this kind of different way, right? It's not just looking at artwork and seeing it, but it's really being able to experience it in new ways through storytelling, through these kind of narratives.
To sign up, email chernandez@torranceca.gov. North High School students got first-hand experience on how a real heart works. As part of Project Lead the Way health science curriculum, biomedical students dissected a sheep heart. Once they opened it, they identified the different parts. Students worked with the same tools used by professionals in hospitals and labs, including a scalpel, which they used to cut off fatty tissue. The heart dissection gives students an opportunity to explore and get hands-on experience with real-world challenges in the biomedical science field. Casimir Middle School students from the project Lead the Way Medical Detectives course observed the learning experience. These students solve medical mysteries through hands-on projects and lab work that includes investigating disease outbreaks, measuring and analyzing vital signs, and learning how the breakdown within the human body can lead to dysfunction. Project Lead the Way is a nonprofit organization that provides a transformative learning experience for K-12 students and teachers across the United States. Torrance High School was recently recognized for their Project Lead the Way program. For another year, students from historically black colleges and universities went head-to-head to prove their knowledge power.
I know we've had some trouble, all right, but this time it's going to go very smooth, okay?
High-achieving students from 48 historically black colleges and universities competed today at the 29th annual Honda Campus All-Star Challenge here in Torrance today. The fast-paced buzzer competition highlights students' academic knowledge across the topics of history, science, literature, religion, arts, and pop culture. The year-round program was started in 1989 as a way to celebrate the academic achievements of HBCU students. This year, the students competed to win a share of more than $350,000 in institutional grants that will directly benefit their schools. So far, more than $8.5 million in grants from Honda have provided support for scholarships, facility upgrades, and other investments. Make sure you tune into This Week in Torrance to find out who won the grand prize. Torrance Public Works crews continue to work hard to fix the spike in water main breaks. Currently, an emergency water main repair project is taking place on Huber Avenue north of 238th Street. Traffic is being redirected to Fulmar Avenue to the east. However, officials say there will be no major traffic implications as this is happening on a residential area. Throughout the city, there have been an increase in the number of water main breaks in the specific area, causing water outages for residents. Public Works plans to replace approximately 600 feet of water main on an emergency basis to help remedy the number of outages in the area. Water Operations has a water main replacement program that is focusing in North Torrance right now. They're targeting hot spots that need replacements. Their goal is to replace 1 mile of water main per year. Temperatures soared, breaking records across Los Angeles County recently, and you could still feel the heat today. Weather Service officials say that a combination of a weak ridge of high pressure and some offshore flow causes these really warm temps. Downtown Los Angeles broke a 128-year-old record by reaching 95 degrees yesterday. Long Beach hit 96 degrees, breaking a record from 1968. Don't forget, here in Torrance, you can always cool off in the heat at the local libraries or even the Del Amo Fashion Center. And speaking of weather, let's get to it. Today was the perfect beach day as temps hit a high of 77, and tonight you can expect a low of 59. Tomorrow will start cooling down a bit with a high of 70 degrees and a low of 57. Then on Thursday, there will be a high of 74 degrees and an expected low of 55. And today is a time you can thank your siblings for being your sibling. National Siblings Day lands on April 10th every year, and it's a time to honor our brothers and sisters. Cindy Trujillo Schaefer posted a picture showing off their Trojan spirit on our Facebook page. National Siblings Day was founded in 1995 by native New Yorker Claudia Evart after losing her two siblings early in life. She created the Siblings Day Foundation. And before the next half of NEWSBREAK Live, there are some upcoming events this week that you won't want to miss. Tomorrow, the Old Torrance Neighborhood Association is hosting an open house so neighbors can view and find out more information about a project that will build 22-story homes proposed on a specific site in Torrance. Developers from Anastasi Development Company LLC will be there. It will take place at the former school's First Credit Union from 6 to 7 p.m. Then this Saturday, you can enjoy a fun scavenger hunt sponsored by the Friends of the Torrance Library. You can go to Henderson Library from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. to attend. The event is free. Well, in just 2 minutes, City Librarian Hilary Thayer will join me to talk about National Library Week, which is underway. We'll see you in a few minutes.
Listen.
All it took was someone who would insist that I just try.
Suddenly, everything was turned around because they judge you.
You tell them, I don't need this.
No one is going to understand.
Unless they've been through it, how can they?
Then one day you realize
You feel so hopeless.
I need help. I need help.
You feel so hopeless.
Then one day you realize
Unless they've been through it, how can they understand?
I don't need this.
No one's going to judge you.
suddenly everything was turned around because they insist that I just try.
All it took was someone who would just...
Listen.
Welcome back to the second half of NEWSBREAK Live, and joining me is City Librarian for the City of Torrance, Hilary Thayer. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Thank you for being on NEWSBREAK Live once again, and this week is very special because it's National Library Week. The City of Torrance Council, they announced it last week and proclaimed it. So tell me what this means for you and your staff.
Well, this is an annual chance across the nation for all of us to just celebrate the power of public libraries and all the things that public libraries do for everyone in the community of all ages, walks of life, and all needs. So it's just a chance to kind of remember and celebrate what we do.
And for many who may not know, the City of Torrance has 6 libraries, right?
Correct. We have our main library on Torrance Boulevard and 5 branches throughout the community.
So a lot of great resources, events that are happening year-round. So it's a great place to be, especially this week where if they hear about this, they can maybe venture and see what's going on, right?
Oh, absolutely. All of our buildings are open and thriving. We have librarian experts at all of our locations to help you find what you need, from answering those tricky questions to just helping you find your next great book you're going to read on your vacation.
Great. Now let's talk a little bit about how this month started. I mean, this is not something new. It's been around for 60 years.
Yes, the American Library Association started National Library Week in 1958, just as a chance to celebrate what we do and remind people of this thing we call the public library. I mean, the public library doesn't exist around the world. Many other countries don't have such a thing as a free public library. And it's a chance for us to realize the treasure we have in our communities.
And it sure is a treasure. And this week, is the city doing anything special to celebrate the week? Excuse me, the libraries specifically?
Well, each year for National Library Week, we try to focus on one particular aspect of our service. So this year, we're focusing on everything we do for community health. So, for example, we have reference librarians who are experts in helping you find important medical and health information. And this can be from a specialized medical journal or a book written for the layperson. It can be for someone who supports you in being physically healthy or going through a health issue. We also do stuff that helps families support people in their health, from social health, emotional health, helping someone eat right, helping someone get through a medical procedure. And we bring that to the community, all ages, again, all ages, walks of life. So this year we're really focused on community health and what we do.
What do you want people to know about the Torrance Libraries that are located right here for South Bay residents and people living here in Torrance?
I think the biggest thing I encounter is someone who mentions that they used to use the library, and then they'll say, I used the library when I was a student, or I used the library when my kids were small, kind of implying that they shouldn't use the library anymore or don't need the library anymore. And I just want to remind people that we are here for all ages, all walks of life, all needs. Another thing that happens is people will come in to ask a question, and they'll start with that phrase of, I know this is a stupid question, but, and we respect the power of inquiry in the public library. I always say the only silly thing to do would be not to ask, and we are the safe place. You can come ask anything. And whether we need to find you a contact in the community, refer you to another organization that can help you, or answer the question ourselves, we really want you to come in and ask. And we welcome all questions, all walks of life. And you can just walk in and ask us anything. We have experts there to help you. That's really what I would like to remind people of.
Great. And I did mention there are 6 libraries here in Torrance. And now in this day and age, everyone is on their phones, getting the latest information. So what is it about coming into the library and having that experience for viewers at home who haven't come in a while?
Well, one of the things is, while there is a lot of information out there on the internet and in the electronic universe, we are here to help you curate that information, to figure out what is the best resource. So if you just do a general internet search, most people won't go beyond the first page and not think that a good chunk of that first page is ads. Versus our librarians can kind of parse that down for you and say, what really is the question you're asking? What type of information do you need? And we may be able to point you to an electronic resource you can get on your smartphone, but help you know that it really is the best one to answer your question. Another thing is just coming in for the experience. Our libraries are open public places where you can just be with other people in the community. You can attend a free public program, join one of our book groups, listen to stories. And we do have many people who come in just to be in that nice place. They're air conditioned, they're really nice, there's lots of seating. So we welcome you to just come in and be in the public library, even if what you're using is your laptop or your smartphone. We enjoy all types of visitors.
You and your staff are always promoting different events. To go to torranceca.gov. There's always a fun and exciting event happening at some library. Mm-hmm. So how does the Torrance Library stay so active?
Well, I credit a few things. One is our supportive community. They come to their events, and then they tell us what else they want, what they want to see more of, what they've really enjoyed. The second thing is our Friends of the Torrance Library. They are our major support group. They fundraise and donate to the library over $100,000 a year, and a lot of that is in direct programming expenses. So anytime you're seeing a musician or a puppet show, quite likely the Friends of the Library paid the performer's fee. And the third thing, I cannot go without crediting my staff, the team of people I work with at the library. They are so creative. They are always listening to the community, to the people they serve, and coming up with these great ideas that pack the meeting room and people really enjoy. And then I get to hear all the great comments about how much they enjoyed coming to the library. But my staff is wonderful. I work with the best group of people.
Oh, that's so sweet. There's always something great happening at the library, as I just mentioned, and there is an event this Friday. Am I correct? It's a meet and greet with a very special author.
Yes, we have 2 authors coming on a book on local history. One of the things we really like to do with author visits, not just have a author visit for the sake of learning about writing, which people always ask, and that's welcome, but also use these author visits as a chance to highlight history. And often people will come to an author visit and then walk right back in the library and go, what else is there? I want to learn more. And we really welcome that kind of conversation.
And most recently, your staff as you mentioned, you guys are like a family. I do want to make a mention of this. You recently lost one of your staff members, and I know City Council last week honored him. If you can talk a little bit about him, and I think we were just showing video of him. We did a whole piece when the library van was launched.
We recently lost our delivery driver, Dennis Matsumoto. He had driven our delivery van for over 10 years. And in driving the van, he literally knew everyone in the library because he drove to every library. In addition, he would take the van to the city yard, go to different places. And it was a tragedy for us and kind of a reminder of how important it is to really cherish those you love and be reminded how nice it is to work in a place where you do get that close bond with people. Dennis was respected by us all, and we're just trying real hard to fill the big shoes he left behind. But the library van is still transporting books 5 days a week, serving our library users.
Do you want to make a mention about the library van since we're on this topic for people who may have not seen it yet? I know we've been showing video of it.
Our library van is the greatest, and that was the brainchild of one of our staff. When we were getting a new van, someone says, how about we put a great wrap on it and have it really just talk about the library as it drives around the city. So it has a custom design on all four sides promoting that you can find yourself at the Torrance Public Library and all that we do. So people wave at it, they take pictures of it, and it sits in the parking lot behind our Civic Center library when not in use, just basically being a giant advertisement for the Torrance Public Library. And that, again, the great staff I work with, that was someone's idea.
You definitely can't miss it if it's driving around town. And before we get into some new initiatives and other great stuff happening at the library, I do want to remind people about the smart cases that parents and children can pick up at the library. They're still there, correct?
Correct, and we're making more. The SMART cases, it stands for Science, Math, Activity, Reading, and Teaching. And each case is around a scientific concept, such as earthquakes, human body, bridges. And in each case is 2 books, a DVD, and an activity, a hands-on activity that you can do with one-on-one with a child in a small classroom. So we're kind of taking all the modes of learning, of listening and reading and experiencing and touching with your hands and putting them on a scientific activity. We worked with the Torrance Unified School District, so each case has with it the next generation science standards that it applies to and a recommended grade level. And that, again, was a staff member's idea who just pitched it to me one day, and I said, that sounds great. We got to go find some funding and get that done. And we're building more.
Another great reason to maybe volunteer at the library too.
Oh, we have lots of great volunteer opportunities from working with our friends of the library. As I told you, they're an all-volunteer organization, to our Words on Wheels program, where if somebody can't get to the library to get materials, we have a whole volunteer group that will check out library materials and deliver them to that person, whether they're in home, they're in a hospital, in a hospice, a retirement home, temporary or permanent. We don't want anyone to have a reason not to use the library.
That's really great. And I do want to get to the new initiatives and the exciting news coming from the Torrance Libraries that viewers should know about. So some cool mobile technology, I hear?
Yes, we're launching a new thing early this summer. We are going to be able to bring mobile technology training to all of our libraries, including our small branches. We're getting 2 carts with Chromebooks that can run entirely on our new wireless infrastructure.
Oh, wow.
So we will be able to set up technology training at any of our locations and run it entirely off our wireless network. Technology training is something we've really been trying to do for a few years. The community has said they want it and they need it. What we lacked was the infrastructure. We definitely did not have the funds to build a computer lab, for example. Our libraries are full. And so when we deployed new wireless, we said we can now do this entirely on wireless. We are going to have a ribbon cutting for our new wireless technology labs May 12th in the morning at our Henderson Library. I found out I could announce that today. I'm so excited.
So exciting.
So put Saturday, May 12th on your calendar at 10 a.m. Visit us at the Henderson Library and you'll see our mobile technology lab. Then throughout the summer, we're going to be doing technology training in all of our libraries to launch it. Everything from learning how to make videos on Facebook to learning how to download our ebooks, type a resume, or find out how you would contact emergency services online. It's going to be a wide variety of training workshops. I'm so excited.
And I think the great thing that really sticks out to me with the Torrance Library is that whatever the community asks for, you and your staff really make an effort to make it happen.
Exactly. We are here. I always say the public library can be whatever its community needs it to be. And we are always listening to our community, whether people are talking to our staff members, they're sending me emails or giving me a phone call, reaching out to our library commission. We want to know what people need in their community and how the library can help.
Great. Last topic that I'd like to talk to you about is how can people stay up to date with all the events and everything happening at the library? What's the best way?
Well, we have an online calendar of events on the website, and you can sign up for our online newsletter. We email out a monthly calendar of events plus other emails as appropriate. You can sign up for that right on our webpage. You can also step into any of our libraries. We have flyers, handouts, print calendars, or just even ask the staff what's going on. Sometimes we know what's going on before we've even managed to print a flyer about it. So step in and ask us or sign up for the online newsletter anytime.
Great. And what about getting a library card? Can you just sign up online as well, or do they have to physically come into a library to get one?
Sure. We issue library cards to any resident of California. So one of the first lot of questions I get is, I don't live in Torrance. It doesn't matter. If you live in California, you get a free library card with us. You can register online, but we then need you to come into any of our libraries with your photo ID and proof of your home address. And then your library card gets you access to all the riches that are the Torrance Public Library.
Great, Hilary. Thank you so much. I always love your enthusiasm and all the great news you always have for us. So thank you again for coming on my show.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Have a great night. Well, that does it for NEWSBREAK Live. Don't forget to watch the City Council meeting tonight. And if you ever have news or video that you'd like to share, please email us at newsbreak@torranceca.gov. Also, if you missed any portion of the show, you can catch it online on Torrance City Cable's YouTube page. Have a great night.